And news just out, Stellantis is laying off almost 2,500 factory workers from an assembly plant outside of Detroit.
In a bombshell announcement, Carlos Tavares, the CEO of Stellantis, has thrown the automotive world into chaos by revealing a startling truth about the future of some of America's most cherished car brands with legendary names like Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. The stakes are high and the repercussions are significant. What does this mean for the future of these beloved American brands and us, the consumers? Is this the start of a new era? What is happening exactly? Stellantis has just released their earnings reports and their upcoming plan, but things couldn't be more intense than this. Even the workers' union president, Shawn Fain, has accused Tavares of price gouging consumers and failing to uphold commitments made in their labor contract. In a striking video message, Fain pointed out that while Stellantis grapples with declining sales, Tavares' compensation has skyrocketed, stating, "Sales are down, profits are down, and CEO pay is way up." This stark contrast raises questions about leadership priorities at Stellantis. This merger of automotive giants Fiat Chrysler Automobiles and the PSA Group was supposed to be a game changer, promising a revolutionary approach that would unite iconic American brands under one umbrella. It sounded great at first, like a dream come true for car enthusiasts everywhere, but that was only true on paper. In reality, Stellantis is struggling like a fish out of water, and the company might even declare bankruptcy with the way things are going. How did these heavyweights find themselves in such a vulnerable position? Let me help clarify this for you. And you just subscribe and hit that bell icon, because what we're about to reveal will leave you both shocked and itching to learn more. How did we get here? Look, nobody expected this would happen, because Carlos Tavares is the automotive industry's hotshot, renowned for his strategic prowess in slashing costs and driving impressive results. This seasoned executive has made a career out of streamlining operations and trimming the fat, ensuring his teams are laser-focused and nimble in the face of fierce competition. The CEO of Stellantis is on a mission that's anything but ordinary. He's kicked off a bold and controversial plan called the Dare Forward 2030 Initiative, an electrification blitz that aims to propel Stellantis to the forefront of the electric vehicle revolution. Can you even imagine a company completely transforming itself to become a shining star in the EV market? The heart of this ambitious plan, a serious commitment. Every single Stellantis brand will offer a fully electric lineup by the year 2030. No more gas guzzlers. We're talking all electric, baby. But achieving this game-changing goal isn't easy. It requires massive investments in cutting-edge EV tech and a rock-solid supporting infrastructure. Tavares isn't messing around, committing a jaw-dropping $33 billion to electrification and software development by 2025. Now, this financial pledge isn't just a casual investment, it's a bold bet on the future of mobility itself. Tavares is banking that this will give Stellantis a serious competitive edge, especially as the EV market evolves at breakneck speed. But not everyone is hopping on the cheerleader squad. Critics are quick to raise concerns, especially about Stellantis' operational hurdles in the crucial North American market, where declining sales and shrinking market share are sparking doubts about the viability of this electrification strategy. As revenues continue to dwindle, the big question is, will Stellantis even have the resources to make these sweeping investments? Enter Tavares' controversial play, his strategy of aggressive cost-cutting. He believes that in this cutthroat industry, laser-focusing on immediate profits is the smart move. Sure, some argue this could hurt long-term growth, but Tavares is convinced it's the key to keeping Stellantis operationally efficient while still funding those critical EV tech and infrastructure investments. This, of course, is generating some serious heat among Stellantis stakeholders, especially when you consider the fate of the company's beloved American brands like Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. The implications of Tavares' cost-cutting on these iconic nameplates are causing major waves of concern, leaving many wondering what the long-term impact will be. Tavares is on a bold, risky journey, but he seems laser-focused on transforming Stellantis into a leaner, meaner profit machine ready to tackle the fast-evolving EV landscape. Will his high-stakes gamble pay off? That's the million-dollar question. One thing's for sure, the path ahead for Stellantis and its American brands is under the microscope, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So what do you think the future holds? So let's talk about it all, the risks and the opportunities. The price for success. Let's dig into the topic of layoffs. Stellantis isn't merely trimming a little excess here and there. They're undertaking a massive overhaul of their workforce. The company is rolling out a series of layoffs across various operations as part of a grand restructuring effort aimed squarely at boosting efficiency and profitability. Yes, the figures may make it look like they're streamlining operations, but don't forget the human side of the equation. Labor unions and employees are understandably shaken, raising serious concerns about job security. The morale within the ranks is taking a hit. When workers are left wondering about their futures, it creates an atmosphere thick with anxiety. And what does that lead to? You guessed it, low productivity and a serious case of workplace dissatisfaction. Losing skilled workers doesn't just negatively impact those individuals. It sends shockwaves throughout the corporate culture and can stifle the company's ability to innovate in the future. Now, let's turn our attention to the even more controversial plant closures. As part of this aggressive cost-cutting strategy, Stellantis has made the decision to shut down or reduce operations at several of their facilities. One particularly contentious decision has been the halt of production at the Belvidere facility in Illinois. On one hand, this move seems like a quick way to cut down expenses significantly, but on the other hand, it prompts serious questions about the company's commitment to long-term manufacturing capabilities. Plant closures may provide a temporary financial cushion, but what will the long-term implications be? Critics argue that focusing solely on short-term savings rather than investing in sustainable manufacturing technology is a recipe for disaster. After all, if Stellantis wants to effectively compete in an increasingly electrified market, they need to ensure that their production capabilities are up to par. If they cut corners now, those choices could very well come back to haunt them when they need to adapt quickly to changing market demands. Next up is the reduction of marketing budgets. A move that seems downright counterintuitive, right? In a competitive industry like this one, you'd think Stellantis would pour resources into boosting brand visibility and deepening consumer engagement. But no, they're slashing budgets across the board. This could spell trouble, especially for the lesser known and struggling names within their portfolio, like Chrysler and Dodge. These brands may heavily depend on strong marketing initiatives to stand out and capture consumer interest. Is this really the best time to cut back on those efforts? Without sufficient marketing support, these brands could risk being lost in the shuffle, further contributing to sales declines and erosion of market share. It's a classic example of potentially saving a dime today but losing a dollar in the long run. And what about the changes to dealer compensation? Talk about raising eyebrows. Tavares has decided to change how dealers are compensated, and you can bet that this has not been met with applause. Many dealers feel these adjustments threaten their ability to sell vehicles profitably, leading to a wave of dissatisfaction within the dealer network. When dealers are unhappy, it creates a ripple effect throughout the entire distribution chain, making it significantly harder for Stellantis to move those cars off the lots. If dealers don't see a return on their investments, they may lose their motivation to market and promote Stellantis vehicles as energetically as before. These cost-cutting measures have incited a chorus of criticism from various stakeholders. The main argument, while trimming the expenses might offer a temporary boost to the bottom line, it risks jeopardizing the long-term health of Stellantis' cherished American brands. It's like taking a shortcut that appears to save time, but could actually lead to a dead end, leaving the company exposed in an already challenging landscape. People versus profit. Have you ever thought about how big decisions at a company can affect its future? Well, when it comes to Carlos Tavares leading Stellantis, his focus on profit margins is at the forefront. It's clear that Tavares prioritizes making money over selling a lot of cars. Analysts and industry watchers have taken notice of his strategy. Some are left pondering whether this intense dedication to profits is steering the company towards success or pushing it closer to disaster. So let's buckle up and dig into the details. We'll explore how this approach might lead to low sales and unhappy investors. First, let's take a closer look at the sales numbers. They honestly tell a compelling story. Since Tavares took over, Stellantis has faced a tough reality. Its sales are decreasing significantly, especially in the critical North American market. The figures are, quite frankly, alarming. Recent reports show that sales have fallen by 20% compared to previous years. For a company that has historically relied on strong performances from iconic brands like Jeep and Ram, this dip isn't just a minor issue, it's a loud warning sign. These brands, which have been the company's biggest moneymakers, are now struggling to compete effectively. This situation prompts us to ask some vital questions. What's behind this decline? Is this just a temporary setback, or are there deeper issues within the company that need addressing? Now, Tavares' belief that high profit margins are more important than selling a large number of vehicles is not just a business slogan, it's his motto. He strongly believes that keeping those profit margins high is more important than simply cranking out more cars. Sure, this strategy might bring immediate financial benefits, and the quarterly reports might look pretty good. However, there's a significant downside to this approach. It can create a troubling gap between the company and its customers. If shoppers feel like they are not receiving enough value for their hard-earned money, they're likely to shop elsewhere. Rival companies that offer better value for a similar price could easily steal away loyal customers. But what about the investors? Well, it's safe to say they aren't too happy with where things stand. Analysts have grown concerned and have downgraded the company's stock due to worries about its market share and future profitability. Here's the kicker. Stellantis' stock price has plummeted by 42% this year alone. This sharp decline has sparked serious debates about Tavares' vision for the future of Stellantis. Is his strategy truly capable of guiding the company through the inevitable ups and downs of the automotive market? As the executives pore over sales reports and investor feedback, the big question looms. Is Tavares' single-minded focus on profit margins a smart, long-term plan? Or is it a dangerous gamble that could blow up in their faces? See, the automotive world is changing rapidly, especially with the rising popularity of electric vehicles and shifting customer preferences. Today's car buyers are not just looking for a good price, they are also becoming much savvier. They demand exceptional value, not just in the car's quality, but also in innovative technology, sustainable practices, and brands that resonate with their values. When a company puts profit margins above all else, it risks missing the essential factors that influence customer choices and loyalty. Picture this. Someone is shopping for a new sedan. They step into a dealership boasting eye-catching new models, all while being bombarded by ads highlighting the latest safety features, great fuel efficiency, and cutting-edge technology. There are so many tempting options in front of them, yet if they sense that the company is not truly invested in making their experience better, or if they find a competitor that clearly positions itself as the better value choice, loyalty can evaporate. The stakes are incredibly high in the competitive game of automotive sales, and each decision can make a huge difference. And we can't overlook the significant challenges Stellantis faces, especially with its American brands, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Each of these well-known brands is struggling with its own set of issues which are piling up and dragging down the entire company. The survival of these iconic brands and their influence on Stellantis' future is a crucial narrative to monitor in the coming months and years. So let's dissect this one by one. Chrysler. Chrysler is currently facing some significant challenges that are making waves in both the industry and among everyday car buyers. Once known for a strong range of vehicles, the Chrysler product lineup has sharply reduced to just two models, the Chrysler 300 sedan and the Pacifica minivan. This dramatic decrease in choices isn't a simple matter. It reflects a deeper, troubling strategy that has left customers feeling trapped, as if they have no real options left to explore. The Chrysler 300, once a symbol of American luxury and sophistication, is struggling to keep its place in a quickly changing market. It feels like this beloved sedan is being left behind in the dust as it tries, and often fails, to match up to the demands of today's drivers. Meanwhile, the Pacifica minivan, praised for its engineering expertise and multifunctional design, simply doesn't have the star power needed to carry the rich history and tradition that Chrysler represents. These issues are creating an unsettling reality for Chrysler, as it loses its foothold as the top choice for American families. This isn't just a minor hiccup, it's a serious concern as loyal customers begin to drift away, searching for more appealing options. Sadly, things are only getting worse for Chrysler. More and more consumers are feeling that the prices on Chrysler vehicles are much higher than what is reasonable when considering the features and value offered. This growing sentiment is not just a quirk, it's a significant concern that has affected sales and continues to hang over the company like a dark cloud. Picture this: potential buyers walking through dealership lots, spotting the price tags, and shaking their heads in disbelief. This reaction is even more intense when you take into account how competitors are stepping up their games, adding more features at prices that seem much more attractive, sometimes even lower than Chrysler's. If Chrysler isn't careful, it risks losing ground as customers quickly gravitate towards brands that deliver better overall value and truly understand what today's smart and careful buyers are looking for. Adding to this troubling situation is the noticeable lack of investment in the Chrysler brand. Many proposals have been put forward to rejuvenate and expand the lineup, yet company executives seem to ignore these suggestions. This entirely hands-off approach raises flags, suggesting that there is little hope for innovative new cars or exciting technology that could draw in customers and spark their interest. Without fresh and exciting offerings to capture the attention of buyers, Chrysler is becoming increasingly vulnerable in the face of the rapidly shifting marketplace, alongside a consumer base that is not only looking for variety, but is also hungry for innovation and creativity. So we can't sit and hear talk about Chrysler all day. What about the rest of them? What about Dodge? Now, this brand is currently caught in a web of enormous challenges that are piling on top of one another. Each issue poses a serious threat to the once fantastic reputation Dodge enjoyed. One of the key problems is the tricky situation surrounding inventory management. Just take a moment to consider what has happened with the Dodge Hornet. This vehicle was launched with great expectations, but has not performed well in the sales department. Expectations were sky high at first, but the hard truth is that the results are far from satisfactory. The backlog of unsold Hornets clearly shows a big gap between how many cars were produced and how many buyers really want them. It's simple. There are far too many unsold vehicles just sitting on dealership lots, waiting for any potential buyer to take them home. Each day that goes by without a sale only compounds the issue, adding more unsold cars to the ever-growing pile and racking up extra costs for the company. This situation puts more pressure on Dodge management to figure things out. The lackluster performance of the Hornet isn't simply one miss. It's a loud message that points towards deeper and systemic problems that are looming large inside the Dodge brand. But wait, it gets even more complex. The push towards electrification is sparking waves of controversy among die-hard fans of Dodge, who have long supported the brand. Under the guidance of CEO Carlos Tavares, Dodge is trying to navigate a significant transition towards electric vehicles. While this might seem smart based on industry trends, many loyal Dodge fans feel increasingly ignored. Plans to slowly retire beloved muscle cars like the famed Charger and the iconic Challenger in favor of electric replacements may not just be a minor shift. They could break the cherished bond with a fan base that loves the power and performance of traditional muscle cars. Think about it. Messing with the heart and soul of a brand can lead to dire consequences. Essentially, this approach risks losing everything that makes Dodge what it is. We can't overlook the added troubles that come with this shift to electrification. This new direction is likely to alienate customers, a truly unfortunate effect. By stepping away from the celebrated V8 engines, which many car enthusiasts adore and have come to expect, towards what some might describe as underwhelming electric alternatives, Dodge is navigating a serious transition that loyal drivers are finding hard to accept. These passionate fans have always identified with the thrilling, performance-centered image associated with Dodge, a brand where muscle cars roar confidently down the streets and don't simply hum along. By moving away from the powerful combustion engines that have historically represented the brand, Dodge is not just tweaking its product lineup. Instead, they are pushing the boundaries of their identity into a whole new world. As a result, loyal customers are starting to feel as if their hopes, dreams, and preferences are being disregarded for a broader corporate agenda that seems to prioritize new technology over the time-honored values that have always defined Dodge. But let's not forget about Jeep, a brand that has been in the spotlight lately, although for reasons that are not very positive. The problem with Jeep. One major concern has been the noticeable price increases that have recently affected many of Jeep's most popular models, including the legendary Wrangler. This isn't merely a small adjustment, it's becoming a trend that transforms Jeep vehicles into luxury items that many average consumers can no longer afford. With prices climbing higher and higher, Jeep is at a real risk of shutting out a large segment of potential customers, which could severely restrict its market reach. If price tags continue to rise without any improvements in features, technology, or new innovations, it sends a concerning message that Jeep may be losing its competitive edge in an already crowded SUV market. As if that wasn't enough, Jeep faces even more challenges. As new models become increasingly out of reach financially, we are witnessing a clear change in consumer behavior. There has been a notable surge in the used car market, especially with models like the Jeep Wrangler, an enduring representation of rugged outdoor adventure and the free spirit. This rising demand for used Jeep vehicles suggests a new trend. Buyers are actively looking for other options to replace expensive new models that have become too costly. While this increase in used car sales might provide a temporary boost for Jeep, it also unveils a troubling story. More and more potential buyers are choosing to sit out, opting not to make new purchases at all. In this distressing scenario, Jeep is not just facing a sales decline, it is dealing with a fundamental change in how consumers view its brand. Plus, the landscape is heating up, with many eager rivals all trying hard to grab their slice of the lucrative pie. Take the Ford Bronco, it's become a hit among consumers, gaining attention due to its appealing mix of robustness and modern features. While competitors are innovating and pushing forward in terms of technology and fresh designs, Jeep finds itself in a tough position, needing to significantly improve its game. The urgency to adapt and act is more pressing now than ever. If they don't act quickly and innovate, they risk not just losing market share, but could see their stronghold crumble as customers turn to newer, more exciting options that promise far better driving experiences. It is a bit crazy when you think about these are three of the most beloved American brands. No expected them to end up like this. But there is one more brand that has what most are calling the worst of them all. Ram. Now, shifting focus to Ram, a brand dealing with tremendous difficulties that could put its place in the highly competitive truck market in jeopardy. It's hard to ignore the significant number of model discontinuations that have occurred recently. The loss of budget-friendly options like the dependable Ram 1500 Classic has sent shockwaves throughout the brand. This is not just a small adjustment, it represents a significant loss for consumers who care about affordability and have historically counted on Ram for reliable trucks. With fewer choices available, those looking for dependable vehicles at reasonable prices now find themselves with limited options, which could cause them to question their loyalty to the Ram brand altogether. To further complicate the situation, the entire Ram lineup has been affected by rising costs. Prices have continued to increase over time, making it much tougher for many potential buyers to see these vehicles as justifiable purchases. While premium features can help boost profit margins for Ram, they also come with high price tags that deter many consumers from going through with their purchases. Think about the everyday buyer who might have considered buying a new Ram last year. Those soaring costs are pushing Ram vehicles out of reach for countless potential customers. The message is pretty obvious. Without a good reason to pay more money, many drivers are likely to pause and reconsider before making any commitments. This ongoing struggle is creating significant affordability issues that ripple out to a wide range of buyers. The total impact of these price hikes across all Ram offerings has created a tough environment for truck enthusiasts. Rising costs come with no accompanying increase in value or utility, making decisions even more challenging. As market dynamics shift, it's becoming increasingly clear that many potential buyers are starting to look at alternatives, those competitors that can offer better pricing or financing options that feel more achievable. So, can Ram successfully turn this complex situation around before it's too late? The market is constantly changing, and consumer preferences are evolving at a rapid pace as budget-conscious shoppers grow more frustrated with the shrinking pool of affordable choices. Ram's long-held reputation and market standing are hanging by a thin thread. The brand must quickly reevaluate its strategies. But how can it effectively connect with a broader audience without compromising the quality it is known for? Time is running out, and potential buyers are not just becoming restless. They are growing more impatient than ever. The stage is set. Will Ram step up and reclaim its position, or will it quietly fade into the background, losing hold in a space where it once thrived? What's your thoughts on this? Let's know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.